fear of death and not finishing the stories that you set out to create. Now, fear of death is not something that is only common among the writers. Fear of death is something that is connected with all living beings on this planet. And I'm not the only one who fears death, but I fear death not as death itself, but mostly of not being able to accomplish what I set out to do. I have worked hard over the years of my writing. I've been writing books for 10 years already. I managed to write 4 complete novels, which are the Chess Mystery Trilogy and Pillars of Destruction. I've also just finished writing the first book in the Universe Crusaders trilogy, and almost half of the False Skin novel is written as well. There are also many more outlines that are already written. Most of them are from the Saga of the Unknown Known. I have the whole Universe Crusaders trilogy written. I have The Future's Echoes. I have The Righteous One. Those books that are not connected to the Saga of the Unknown Known are Space Police: The Justice of Mollusk Man. I have The Notes from Beyond. I have Skeleton. I have Unbreakable Circle, many others. And despite the fact that I'm working as fast as I can, writing in Russian, then translating into English, overseeing the editing process for both of these languages, then also overseeing the manga production of the Chess Mystery novels, editing the manga, and then overseeing the process of translating from English to Japanese. It is a lot of stuff to do. Usually writers are they're writing in their own language, they get published in some miraculous way, and off they go. I have a different path and it's more thorny, let's be honest, but in our day and age when there are so many writers who want to be able to earn their living from making their stories, and especially considering the modern tendencies of anime and manga and books in general. I mean, mine are more in a style of anime, so I'm looking towards that kind of what's happening in that market, and what's happening there is not really what my stories are. They don't really fit there as of now. Anyway, what I was getting into was that despite the fact that I'm working hard, many hours, I still have this kind of fear that I won't be able to finish it. Like all the books that I already have outlined, I just need to write them, but it takes a lot of time, and I'm thinking, I'm living in a world that is filled with uncertainties, and especially considering the age we're living in now, where so many things are changing, and not for the better, it can really dawn on you and make the task of making those stories seem impossible to accomplish, because who knows what's going to happen, right? Especially considering the fact that wars are becoming more prominent on our planet again. Humanity never learns, it seems. And yes, fear of death is something that is prevalent for animals, for humans, for any living thing on this planet, but we have to be able to deal with it. Otherwise, it won't do us any good. I stand by the opinion that everything is already in some way preordained. Not completely, we still can change the future, our own future, based on our like what we do really, on our deeds, on our thoughts, the energy that we exude. It can all change the path somewhat, but mostly it seems like things are preordained. And at first I did not believe this. I thought, no, I don't believe it. It can't be. Everything is changing rapidly. It can't be preordained. It just, it's impossible. But then I got a dream at night and I saw the future basically. And then a few weeks later, it confirmed. The same thing happened that I saw in my dream. So basically, it was preordained. I don't know how, but that's the energies of the world. So, and it wasn't a deja vu. It wasn't. It was about the future, not about the past, as if, oh, it already happened to me. No, it was completely different. Something that never happened. And I didn't even think it would happen this way, but just one to one, the same thing I saw in my dream happened the 2 weeks after, right? And after that, I became certain that things are preordained in some way. So since they are already preordained, there is no point in stressing out about the things that may never even come to be, right? Everyone has their own fears. We have to be able to cope with them. And I have not yet found a way to do it effectively, but those thoughts that I have in my back at the back of my head about fearing of not being able to finish everything I set out to do, I try to push them even further back into my mind and not listen to this voice, because this voice, it's a worm tongue speaking in me, because it doesn't do anything good. It doesn't raise my productivity. It doesn't give me more time. It just makes me fear, be afraid. Why do I need it? I don't need it for my books, right? I don't need it for my stories. The thing I need is all time, obviously, and being productive, but also being able to rest and not think about it all the time. Think all the time about like I'm gonna die someday. Well, obviously everybody will. The question is what will happen after, but that's what I'm exploring in my books, and especially in the Universe Crusaders. That's what the story is mostly about life after death. So if you are afraid of death, and not really afraid of death, but more like afraid of not doing something in time before you die, just remember this. And no matter how much you stress out about it, it's not doing you any good. And if things are indeed preordained, then there's nothing you can change. You can just spend the time of your day the way you think it's more good for you, and good for the universe, if that's what you want to feel like what you're doing. If you're doing something good for the universe, if you feel like you're accomplished by that, then go ahead by all means. So yes, never be afraid of that which you cannot control.